We're going to record this and make a show. Test. Okay, here we go. This is it. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Father, stop! Sean, Brian, Frank, put down your weapons.
Jesse, it's Uncle Hector. Well, at least one thing hasn't changed.
The Morning Stream. Garblurgerblurg.
Hello and welcome back to TMS, everybody. It is June 9th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson. Brian Ibbett right over there. Hello.
Hello, headache-free Brian Ibbett today.
Yeah. Hey, I've had my share of like migraine level headaches keep me up all night. I felt for you yesterday. That sucks.
And it wasn't, it was more like the headache was in the middle of the night. The headache wasn't still an issue in the morning. It was the fact that I had no sleep was the issue.
Yeah, turns out humans need sleep. It's good for us.
It turns out, amazing about that.
Yeah, we should all get our sleep. And if you have a headache in the way,
rest.
you figure out another time to sleep. So I'm glad you were able to do that. Did you? I mean, I know you're a pretty wakeful dude. So were you able to get some backup sleep after all that?
Off and on. It I can't like force myself, like I can't like go back and lay in bed and fall asleep. I basically have to pretend I'm doing something else that is usually what causes me to go to sleep, which is watch TV or something.
Oh, I see how it is. Yeah,
I should have put on the other night. Tina and I watched. This is not going to be my recommendal, but we watched the movie Emma, which is a another Jane Austen adaptation. Basically, it's a modern an old retelling, a period retelling of the movie Clueless.
Oh yes, the original Clueless. Got it.
Yes.
Hold on, isn't Emma's played by who? Who's in this?
Anna Taylor-Joy, the girl who's playing Magic in the Sometime It'll Eventually Come Out New Mutants movie.
Oh,
she's pretty. Her eyes are very far apart. They're very, very far apart. She's almost Admiral Akbar.
Oh wow! Does she ever utter the words "It's a trap" during the?
She does, and says it several times in Emma. But I had a hard time with staying awake during that movie too, so I should have just watched that again because that
conk you right out. Well, it's like pure Jane Austen, right? Like all the.
It is right. Like it is not a right. It's not a modern adaptation with cell phones and internet. It's a yes. Oh, Mr. Darcy has just shown up. Shall I let him in?
Wait, this one has a Mr. Darcy in it? Am I thinking of
No,
something
it doesn't have a Mr. Darcy, but
I
can remember the name Emma. There was a Mr. Eccleston. No, I can't remember. Did you ever see Sex Education, the show on?
Yes, Kim and I binged it and we loved it. It was great.
Oh, you just froze.
Oh, I did?
Oh no.
Oh, Brian thinks I've frozen. Hold on. Maybe Brian's freezing. Are we all freezing? Is it me? Oh no. I think it might be me. Hold on a second.
You and Kim binged that. You remember the tall, kind of nerdy, gawky girl who always did her hair like Mickey Mouse ears?
You mean like in school in general, or
in Sex Education?
Oh, yes, the weird one that was like super hypersexual and couldn't wait to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
she's also in Emma, and you see her in kind of a different light with this.
she's a funny actress.
She really is talented. Yeah, she's great. Her facial expressions are fantastic.
Well,
very expressive. Anyway,
but it puts you to sleep is the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you like those sorts of things, you'd love Emma because it does what it does very well, and the acting is great, and it's got Bill Nighy.
Oh, I love him. Yeah, drag him out, dust him off anytime. I'm happy to see that.
Absolutely, he's the best part of it. Anyway, if you see it, if you like it, see it. If not, meh,
skip it, meh.
Don't rush out to watch Emma. Tina enjoyed it greatly.
My weekly check-in to let everybody know that This Much I Know is still amazing, and we're in the season finales next week.
Or
I know this much is true. Or what is it?
I know this is
This much I know is true. This much.
Jeez Louise.
Oh man, hold on. I know this much is.
I know this much is true.
Okay, I was right the first time. I know this much is true. Is continues to be the most powerhouse acting I've seen in years, and the season finale is next week, and I just think it's incredible, and also depressing. So I'm just warning you. It's not like it's not a happy time, but it's a piece of art, and must be.
It's on our list to start a few days before the finale comes out.
I'm excited to see what you think, because I feel very passionate about what I've seen. It's very, very good, and I'm curious when you come out of there if you'll feel the same or not. I guess we'll find out.
Because I like Mark Ruffalo anyway, so the stuff that you rave about, I'm looking forward to it.
Hey Brian, how often do you go to the dump? The dump.
Are you talking about the other side of the basement? Or are you talking about the dump, like is it a place you take garbage?
The public space where you take garbage and they put it in a landfill and there's lots of birds and stuff. How?
I do. It's been a long time since I've been to the dump. It's been since we redid all of our landscaping to do the sprinkler system, honestly.
All right, so it's been a while.
It's been a while
Since I said I'm sorry.
Dump.
Well, we went to the dump on Saturday, and we did it because we had to take out a couple of bushes and half a tree thing, and my brother-in-law also had some stuff to throw away, and we're using his trailer, so we threw it all in Steve's trailer and then took it out to the dump. And I have to say, it's been since probably a proper dump. I've been to a couple of like collection centers and like dumbed down versions of dumps, but like a proper city dump, I haven't been to one.
Dump, yes, where there's a bulldozer constantly like moving stuff around, and
yes, and the one that's like
seagulls flying over.
And just flocks of seagulls. Go ahead, chat room. I have all your flock of seagulls jokes now, but flocks of seagulls, our state bird, because they ate all those crickets back in the day. Anyway, and then one of those big trucks that has the big front loader thing on it, but it's also got these huge metal. They're not even tires; they're giant metal wheels with spikes on them, like super Mad Maxy looking. I took a video and put it on Twitter with the day we went. But anyway, I haven't been to a proper dump in a long time, and when you haven't done that in a long time, you forget just how post-apocalyptic it looks, how big it is. Those birds are just everywhere. I was trying to estimate how many birds die every day just to get around that truck, because they're all trying to land and pick at everybody's old food and porn and everything. And then this truck's just barreling through there. A bunch of birds get killed that way. I'm just sure of it. And there's to me, when I was a kid, I was fascinated with dumps because it was like all this stuff I wanted to. It's gross, but I want to pick through it. I want to see what guy threw away a weird thing. What's that weird thing over there? It looks like an old motorcycle or something. And you kind of want to go over there and see it and stuff. I remember as a kid being way into that. I was not into that Saturday. That was not of interest to me at all this time. But there are times where I think that would be kind of a cool thing to do.
I don't know. I mean, the dump is like the stuff you put the stuff you just can't wait to get rid of, right? Like it's not, let's put it in the garage sale. Oh, it didn't sell in the garage sale. Okay, let's just put it in in the garage or trash in front of our house. It's like, no, I need this stuff moved far away from me because it is the worst garbage. So picking through garbage at the dump has never been appealing to me.
Yeah, as an adult, with you 100%. Yeah. As a kid, it felt like a wonderland. And I used to go with my dad because he was always going to the dump for something, and I would always go with him. And there was something about that experience that I was just like, ooh, what's that thing over there? He'd never let me take anything, obviously, like what good parent would. He wasn't a bad parent.
And they charge you to go to take stuff to the dump. What they should do is, if you bring stuff back from the dump, they should refund some of your entrance fee.
Oh, so how they do it now is when you drive in there, they weigh your car.
Weigh you,
and they go, all right, well, he's driving this truck and he has this trailer, so minus that weight, but then whatever's left is what you pay for. It's already pretty cheap, I think, for I want to say 1,000 pounds of junk. So half a ton, we ended up spending. Steve would have to tell me for sure, but I think it was like $13 to $16 or something. It was pretty cheap.
That's not bad.
Yeah, pretty cheap way to get rid of your stuff. And in the case of like, we figured if you have paint or weird electronics, old cell phones, that kind of stuff, they have a place where you can take that, and they don't even charge you for that. They just take it. So if you want to properly dispose of some paint and not pour it down the sink or something, you could go do that. But.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. I think you can also take that to a Sherwin-Williams store.
Well, oh really? What do they do with it? They just recycle it into regular paint?
They take it to the dump. Oh. they put a brand new label on it and say blue paint.
Blue paint. And they sell it to some sucker.
They have an inch thick crust across the top.
That sounds right. But anyway,
impenetrable disc of blue.
There you go. I don't know why I used to like that. This time it was a little more like, oh, okay, well, this is gross. Let's get out of here. Kim got pooped on. I got a seagull just pooped right on her.
Fabulous.
I had one come close to my face, and we were like, okay, we're out of here. And then, you kind of smelled like the dump for the rest of the day a little bit. It just gets in your clothes. And I kept thinking, boy, those people that are working there, like, what kind of pay?
They must. Oh, yeah. I mean, they must have like an airlock system kind of set up at their house, right? They come in through the front door, they strip down all their clothes, they step into some sort of like chamber that power washes them, and then they come into the house, put on actual clean clothes so that they don't bring that smell in everywhere. Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
It's like when I worked at Chi-Chi's, same thing.
Pretty much, or when I worked at Taco Bell, exactly.
Come home, you smell like a burrito all night.
You totally do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, that was
it sounds like you had a fun date.
Yeah, it was
a little dump date.
Yeah, I had a fun date. Did you do any dating over the weekend?
I did some dating over the weekend. I finally found a way to do a mystery date with Tina during the pandemic.
Ooh.
So I gotta give a big shout out to Paul Cavanaugh, listener Paul Cavanaugh, who let me know about this. Stephen Page, Canadian, who's best known for being one of the two lead singers in the band Bare Naked Ladies, has been doing these concerts.
They've broken up, right? They're not together anymore. Are they together?
The Bare Naked Ladies are still together. Stephen Page is no longer part of the group because of a big falling out and him going to rehab and things like that. He kind of went onto his.
So it's been some days. It's been some days since you looked at me or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's been 7 years since I played with you. Got to perform on a stage and couldn't tell you. Anyway,
took a poo. Anyway.
So Stephen Page, though, does, he's the two voices are very recognizable, and so hearing him doing songs like Brian Wilson and Hello City and stuff like that is it's like hearing Bare Naked Ladies do it, even though you don't have the full band there.
Sure. I could, because he is like the iconic voice of the band in my opinion.
He is the iconic voice of the band, yeah. And so he did this 2-hour concert, and he sells tickets, and they always sell out. He does a limited number of tickets, and it's over Zoom, which kind of adds to some weird fun things that you can do. So number one, we basically, I surprised T and I said, all right, we have tickets for a thing at 3, so be ready at 3. And she's like, well, are we going somewhere? Do I need to dress up? And it's like, nope, you're fine the way you are, and I'm not telling you anymore. So plopped open the laptop, did AirPlay up to the big screen in the living room, and we watched Stephen Page do the show. Now, while this is going on, of course, because it's Zoom, you've got a little row of other people. I don't know how it picks the other people that you see. Obviously, the first one is you. The second one is a small version of the big screen that you're looking at, because that person is doing the talking. That person is highlighted.
Right.
And then you've got a few more random people. But if you put in gallery view, then you get you're the subject, and then like 25 other people that you can watch that are watching this concert.
Oh, interesting. So they put the full grid up of all the viewers, because you can get up to what? There's a big total. Yeah, it's like 1,000 or 500 or something.
We had 1,000 in this one. Well, he sold 1,000 tickets. 860 people showed up. So we kind of scrolled through a few pages of people watching Bare Naked Ladies or watching Stephen Page, and some of them are dancing, and other ones are just, like almost frozen, staring at their screen, like, like the mouths agape, just watching the the show.
Yeah.
But we saw Paul Cavanaugh. We saw, it was kind of fun to see see other people in their homes watching this.
Yeah,
The show itself was great. He did a majority of his stuff on guitar, and then he went over to the piano for a little while and played there. Things got a little dark talking about this song that he wrote for a musical that he realized he kind of wrote from his own perspective and not from the character's perspective. And if he had a chance to do it over, he would.
Interesting.
He also brought his son on, who looks just like a mini Stephen Page.
Oh, weird.
Like
It's like a little clone.
like a little clone.
Yeah.
And they did some songs together, harmonization, stuff like that. It was a really, really good show.
Did
he's
he
still doing them? So
how's the sound quality? I'm curious about that. Like, did it come
actually, it was
across well?
surprisingly good. Yeah, it was. There were a couple times when he would kind of get up in a higher register, a little louder register, that it would do a little bit of clipping, but for the most part, sounded great.
Okay, so
sounded like a good Zoom connection.
All right, Zoom audio's all right. Their codec's okay.
Their codec's okay. It's just that there's a bit of a lag, I think. That's why we don't use them, right? Oh no, it's that we can't control volumes independently.
Yeah, if we could do volume independently. Plus, your internet interacts with it weird. You get all fuzzy and choppy for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't have that with other people, but for some reason you do. Here's the thing with also just to clear up some confusion in the chat about Zoom.
Yeah,
he's the only one that has to have the paid giant group plan. Everybody who gets in there, Brian included, does not have. They can just be freebies. They don't care. They're just viewers.
Yep.
Yeah. So there seemed to be some confusion in there, or maybe I misread.
Exactly. It's a great idea. If you like Bare Naked Ladies, then definitely consider watching one of Stephen Page's concerts. You can just do a search for Stephen Page with a V online. You'll find him.
It's very cool, Paul Kavanaugh, queuing you in on that. Very nice.
That's right.
We love it when you guys do that. Tell us about cool things, man.
Totally.
We're always down to clown. All right. Hey, we talked about, we did a little bit today too, but the whole sleep talks, trying to get better sleep during these trying times.
Sure.
It's been really rough for me lately. Last night was the worst sleep I've had maybe in 3 months. It was bad last night. And I think it's because I put way too much dumb stress on myself yesterday. And kind of had a bit of a blowout. I'm not going to get into the details, but my blowout, I think it actually was necessary. I'm not happy about how I did it or the targets of it or any of the stuff that came from it. But sometimes you just need to unload, And I thought that would help me sleep. It didn't help me sleep. I slept like garbage last night. So, but I also stayed up and watched a couple of things, which I think is a problem. I got to quit doing that. Should have read my book or watched Emma. Apparently, that would have put me right to
there.
sleep.
You watch Emma, or better yet, read the book Emma, and I bet you're asleep by page 3.
Yep, probably. So,
Emma was born in the 21st year of her.
Is it like that? There's a bunch of like.
It is. There is narration that begins with it with Emma, the 21st year of her spring, blah 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 blah.
I mean, I know that there is a huge fan base for the works of what's her name? Jane Austen, and I respect it. And I love me some Shakespeare. I like me some period piece business. But for some reason, the Jane Austen stuff, maybe it's just not aimed at me. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason they modern them up and make things like Clueless. Maybe that's why that happens.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because they're trying to make it so a broader audience can enjoy.
They appeal to a younger audience, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, we got this email from Monty.
Hi, Monty.
I've never known.
I'll take door number 3.
I've never known an actual person named Monty in my personal life. So I'll count this as the first time because I've never known anybody. I know Monty Burns from, Mr. Burns.
From the
Simpsons.
I worked with a guy named Monty at Taco Bell. He was a shift leader. Shift leader Monty.
Oh, nice. I knew
looked like a young Artie Johnson.
Wait, who's Artie Johnson? Hold on.
Artie Johnson from
that's an old reference.
Laugh-In. Yes, exactly.
Yes, Laugh-In. That's the guy. He was the guy that played the weird little German dude, right?
Right, yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. I have some memories of Laugh-In. Very few, though. I remember Goldie Hawn was in a hole and she'd come out and say something dumb sometimes.
And they all, at the end, they'd all do the hole, right? Like they'd all behind those little doors, they'd open it and Joanne Worley, what's the difference between a blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
And then she'd close it and then Dick Martin would open another door and like try and do the punchline and laugh too hard.
And then you'd have, there was always like
Richard Nixon would come out and say, "Sock it to me."
Sock it to me, right? And then you had what's her name in a chair that was too big for her. What was that deal?
Yes, Ruth Buzzy. Lily Tomlin doing her Edith Ann.
That was it.
Impersonation. Yes.
And that's the truth. And she'd spit.
Yeah.
Right.
Ruth Buzzy did the walker, the lady with the walker, and
the name Ruth Buzzy is a great name, isn't it?
Joanne Worley, Ruth Buzzy. I mean, if you don't think of Laugh In, Love American Style, and The Gong Show when you hear those names.
Yeah, I kind of wish that was easy to find. I would watch some of that just to see if some of it holds up. Probably doesn't very well.
Yeah.
But anyway, Monty wrote in.
Anyway, hi Monty.
Hi Monty.
That was a tangent for Monty.
Yep. It's all your fault, Monty. He says, "Hi, Scott and Brian. I tweeted this, but I think it's important because it was helpful for me. I had the hardest time going back to sleep in the middle of the night after waking. In this link is a great researcher named Steve Gibson. He does great work for his own benefit and shares it with us."
Well, kind of nice.
Yeah, I guess so. "I have done great things for myself. I now share it with you."
I will now share with you.
It says, let's see. Sorry. Have a read this oleamine. What's that word?
Oleamide?
Oleamide has shown to induce sleeping, so if taken when you're awake, it has helped me fall back asleep after waking. I hope this helps. It helped me. I hope you are well, and sorry. Oh, wait, I get an update on how you are every day. Be good, Monty. Monty needs, do we have any books laying around that we can give him about punctuation? That'd be cool. It's like commas and stuff. Commas
that
are good.
almost, it looked like it was like a dictated email, like it was read to his phone and his phone submitted it maybe.
You know, I don't know what.
So oleamide is a fatty acid that can be synthesized de novo in the mammalian nervous system and has been detected in human plasma. It accumulates in the CSF of rats after 6 hours of sleep deprivation and induces sleep in naive rats and mice.
Naive rats.
Naive rats. It's what it says. Induces sleep in naive rats and mice.
He's like, "I think the world's a great place with no violence in it." Oh, rat, you're so naive.
You're so naive.
You're so naive. It's adorable. So hold on. I'm looking at it now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, is this safe for human consumption? It says here.
Bobby Franks explains, by the way, naive means they've never been exposed to it before.
Well, that makes sense. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured that was the context of some sort, but it's still funny to call him naive.
It really is, yes.
It's like, I don't like. I think they just need to defund the police. Oh, don't be so naive, you stupid mouse. It doesn't work. It's not that simple. Don't be so naive.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Something funny about that. All right. So there's a bunch of talking here about how you can synthesize it, and it's used in yogurt containers, but it doesn't say. Oh, one of the most frequent non-cannabinoid ingredients associated with spice products. 44 products, synthetic cannabinoid. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, it doesn't say that I can just take this. Is the problem?
Yeah, can I go to Vitamin Cottage and just get, let me get 12 pounds of oleamide, please?
Yeah, what is that? Why can't we find a place?
So,
if this is a thing,
I'm gonna look for Monty's tweet. Maybe he's got a link, and actually, let me look on.
Because you guys are our pushers, man. You're our pushers. We have to take your medical advice and do it.
I know the stuff I've taken because of the chat, the tadpole in the chat room. Yeah, you can buy oleamide capsules from Amazon. A 60-count bottle will cost you $21.99.
Oh, all right. There you go. Oh, is this the same Steve Gibson that's the author? No. That can't be this Steve Gibson. Steve Gibson that wrote Neuromancer? That can't be.
Yeah, right.
No.
I don't know.
No.
If it is, it seems
different Gibson. Okay.
Different Steve Gibson.
Check this out. Brian, I'd like to make a product endorsement. I don't normally do this. Okay.
Okay. All right.
This is something called Hum Blueberry Mint Kombucha. And I got it from Costco. And it contains 2 billion probiotic cultures. Now, normally, if you say, "Hey, Scott, want some kombucha?" my face curls up in a ball and I say no thank you because it's gross. It tastes bad. This is really good. I really like it. Blueberry mint specifically is the flavor, and it's very tasty. And so far, I love this. Also, some people are always worried there's a little bit of alcohol in these. This one's verified non-alcoholic. It's got B12 in it. It's gluten-free. There's no sugar. And, I take that back. It has a little sugar.
Oh, no.
But these are...
Scott's back on the sugar.
I'm on the sugar. But anyway, it's really good. And if you like if you've tried kombucha before and you want its, benefits, whatever they may be for you, and you didn't like it, try this brand. It's called Hum, Humm.
Hum.
It's got like a crazy art on it. It looks like a big... It's pretty peacenik-y. Like, it's very, 60s looking.
Sure.
But it's good.
All right.
I like it.
I'll try it.
Yeah. It says here's their slogan. There's a lot of feel good in every bottle of Hum kombucha.
Is there a lot of feel good? All right.
Ask Motley Crue. They'll tell you.
I still don't think I've ever tried kombucha.
You should try it. It's not the worst thing you'll ever put in your mouth.
Yeah, there's a selling point.
I know. Put that on the box.
Yeah. Great.
Kombucha, not the worst thing you can put in your mouth.
Not the worst thing you could. Exactly.
Yeah, I like it, and it's
better than sucking on a rock.
There's only been 2 kombuchas that I've liked. One was a mango flavor, and then this. The rest of them are a little too skunk water for me. But the whole idea is that these are full of probiotic, good stuff for your guts.
Oh yeah, Icor does bring up a good question. How thick is the liquid?
Very thin. This is it's got floaties. So kombucha, that actually the worst of the kombuchas, or probably the best depending on your definition, are the ones with lots of floaties and stuff in it. Mm-hmm. The least beneficial for you are the ones that are super clear. This is somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Because I got little floaters. Yeah, it's not.
Send in the floater.
Yeah, send in the floater, everybody. All right. Thank you for your message there, Monty. He just used the website there to send that message over at frogpants.com/TMS, or you can send one via the email address, which is themorningstream@gmail.com.
You need to read this, sir. You need to read it now.
Time for the news. Let's do some news, brought to you by
The Boop Show. It was good yesterday. How do people get that thing, Scott?
Well, it's real easy. Just go to frogpants.com/BOOP. It's a video game show all about video games. In particular, we focus on indie titles a lot. It's myself and Brian Dunaway. For about an hour and a half, we do a live stream and a podcast all about your favorite indies and discuss them at length. It's a good time. And the video version is very good because we do a whole lot of here's the game we're playing, and we show it, and we're talking over it, and here's our cameras on top of it, and we make quite a production about it. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. The archives are on YouTube, or you can catch it live on Mondays at 3:30 Mountain Time. But if you want the podcast, that's where most people get it. That's at frogpants.com/BOOP. All right. Yeah. Let's dive into the news today. I've been holding this one for a couple days, so I'm excited to get to it.
Okay.
A Belgian man. You know them. They got the waffles and the whatnot.
They do. Belgian frites and fries and waffles are what Belgium is known for.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's from there.
That's right. Muscles from Brussels.
The muscles from Brussels. A Belgian man who is not him, that'd be cool, received pizzas he's never ordered for almost a decade. This is pretty cool. I would be this guy. I would want to be this guy.
Keeps getting, it's not that he's received a decade's worth of pizza in one delivery. He keeps receiving
for
pizzas.
10 years he's getting pizzas he doesn't order, and he's just fine with that. The thought of a delivery driver dropping off a stack of pizzas unexpectedly may sound like a dream come true to many, but not for Jean Van Langedhem. How's that?
Landegem.
Landegem?
That's I would say Landegem or Landegem, maybe.
Sounds like how we'd say it. How would they say it in Belgium, though? They would say Jean Van Legendeglim. Bleh.
I try to stay away from the Belgian accents.
Do you?
Scott.
Okay. Somebody told me yesterday they were upset about some of the accents I do, and I think they were referring. Oh, big update. Sorry, Scott. Scott has a big update for TMS listeners. I totally forgot to mention this.
Oh no. Okay.
I feel like such an idiot. All right, so what was it, last Wednesday or Thursday or something? I told the story of Alejandro coming to the house and doing the sprinkler fixes.
Yeah.
And I made a whole big deal out of it, and how
Yes, we gave him an Antonio Banderas voice.
all of that, yes, and he was very smooth and suave and all this stuff, and he was all those things. He was great, but I had the name wrong the whole time. It's not. It was never Alejandro. Really? Yeah.
Oh, his name was Pedro. Wow, weird.
His name is. I got his name. Oh wait, no, I've forgotten it. No, I got it. It's Salvador, because I always have to think of Salvador Dali. Salvador is his name. It's even better, or just as good. I just am an idiot because I had the name wrong and was like making this whole, telling you the guys this whole tale with a guy named Alejandro. It was never his name. It was always Salvador. So for those in Salt Lake City or surrounding areas that are like, man, he sounds like a great landscape / sprinkler dude. How do I find him? You want to look for Salvador Landscaping. That's the name. Not Alejandro anything.
There's a bunch of people who are like looking for Alejandro Landscaping.
Yeah, because they did. I got emails saying, hey, I can't find this guy. Where is he? And I'm like,
Scott, I was listening to your podcast. And, I appreciate all the nice things you've said about me, but I must correct you.
Yeah, and I called. So I said to Kim, I said, hey, I think I'm telling everybody the wrong name. What was that guy's name? Salvador, like the painter. And I went, oh, dang it. I told a whole audience of people on Monday. 30,000 people went away thinking, oh, we know what it is. It's Alejandro. It's not.
Salvador. So as far as accents we do on the show, I think Wendy kind of gave us the rundown of the ones we need to stay away from. Anything where that the group of people that we impersonate has been marginalized or stereotyped because of that voice. Like, I think doing the British, totally fine. Doing Germans, totally fine.
Oh yeah, you got to punch up. You got to punch up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Punch up or punch parallel. You can't punch down.
That's the best way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we don't punch. I mean, doing a Russian accent is as much as we do it. I don't think. Are there any Russians that are offended by your accent? I don't think so. Are there?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would do my accent in front of my former Russian neighbors.
Yeah. I used to, probably wrongly, but I used to do my brother's accent all the time because he was my brother and I thought it was funny.
That might be right, and that might be one of the ones that people might
maybe he doesn't mind it. Yeah. You know, like the ding pong thing is an old story here with the Frog Pants Network, but you know, I probably ought to not do that one. That one's probably no good.
Exactly.
You know, you're just trying to learn here, but Irish, they're fine.
Irish, no problem, because that, like they say, that almost always devolves into a pirate.
Yeah, accent. And the pirates that's punching way up, so it's fine. Nobody ever talks about pirates being, you know, marginalized in society. Right. So anyway, there you go. Anyway, this guy, he shakes with fear every time he hears a scooter outside his home. It says. Oh man,
really?
That's what he says. I mean, that's what they're saying about him. 65-year-old says he's been plagued by delivery drivers turning up to his doorstep with pizza he hasn't ordered at all hours of the day and night for almost 10 freaking years. At first, he put it down to a mix-up with the delivery address, but the orders, which reportedly include other fast food such as kebabs, kept turning up. Well, that sounds so good right now, a kebab. Oh.
A kebab totally does. By the way, your audio is getting a little janky. Is there something going on with your network again?
I don't know. Let's find out the hard way.
I'm looking and I'm not seeing anything going on here.
Testing 1 2 2. Here, hold on.
All right.
Let me hear it. Testing 1 2 2. It must have been internet.
Sounds fine. Okay, so might have just
a temporary blip is what it was.
It was just the way it sounded to me. It sounded bad to me.
It sounded bad to me. Yeah, we always forget to put that little part on there where he breathes hard. He goes, "It's real to me, damn it!" Like that.
That's the best part. Anyway, please continue.
All right, sorry.
So,
where was I?
Why does he shake with fear when a pizza arrives?
I think it's just because it's constant. So it says here, Mr. Van Langadam's pizza terror, they're calling it. Came to a head on January last year when 10 separate deliveries turned up on the same day, including one with 14 pizzas in one order. Good Lord.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
He told Het Leest Nieuws, I cannot sleep anymore. I start shaking every time I hear a scooter on the street. Jeez Louises, this is rough. Yeah. I dread that someone will come and drop hot pizzas yet another time, he says. I'm trying not to do a voice. I'm really trying not to, but it's hard.
Yes. It's hard when the quote is not broken English, but is translated English.
Yeah, it's always tricky. Mr. Van Galangadam says he has not had to pay for the pizzas because he had always refused the orders, but the situation is frustrating for both him and the restaurants. A friend of his living 20 miles away in Herenthout. That looks right. Herenthout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
See, look at that. Look at the brain on Brad.
I didn't get that one. Yeah. I'm not. There's no correction coming from me.
Yeah. Has experienced a similar situation for the same amount of time. The incidents have been reported to the police, who, among the two victims, believe it must be someone they both know. Mr. Van Galangdom says, quote, it will not be their best day when he eventually finds the culprit, but for now, it remains a mystery. I kind of want to see how this follows up because...
Right. I like this thinly veiled threat. Oh, it will not be their best day when I find the person who's been sending me pizzas.
Here's what they should do. They should... The restaurants, the pizza places who are also being victimized by this, because they're not getting paid, right?
Right. They're creating pizzas that they're not getting any money for.
I don't understand why they don't just put a hold on these addresses. Like... another one of those. Don't send it, whoever. Like, why wouldn't they block that down? That seems weird to me.
Or even, like, have a follow-up call that says, did you order a pizza? Okay, good. We're bringing it to you.
Yeah.
No, you didn't? All right. Well, we're not making it. Thanks.
For 10 years, same place. It's a stack of pizzas. The guy keeps refusing them. Mm-hmm. Like, you'd have a pattern.
The problem's on whoever's doing it, but there's also a little bit blame to be put on the pizza place first for falling for this over and over again.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Why do I keep picking up the phone?
Yeah, I gotta stop taking these orders.
That's right.
Orders. All right.
That was an impersonation of Moe's Tavern.
Oh yeah,
Moe's the phone every time Bart calls.
Moe's fine. Yeah. Moe's fine. You're punching. That's still punching parallel. You're okay. But it's not okay when Hank is
punching across.
Yeah, it's not okay when Hank Azaria himself is doing a poo though.
No.
Even he agrees with that. So no more a poo. Although, have they had any new episodes since that change with a poo in them? I wonder, because I didn't know what they were going to do. Are they going to hire somebody?
Oh, that's a good question. I have not seen a poo in any recent episodes of The Simpsons.
I try to keep up because I still like it, and I don't care who tells me I'm wrong. I still like The Simpsons a lot. Yeah. Last season was very funny. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. All right. Here's one about a pit bull and a pig. So strap in. Strap in? Yeah, strap in.
Yeah, sure.
What happens when a pit bull and a pig hang out for a while? They become best friends. They just don't know that they're a pit bull and a pig. They're just sisters, says Jessica Overlock. Overlock. That's a great Marvel villain name, isn't it? Overlock.
It is, or a World of Warcraft spell. All right, cast Overlock, and then we'll take on the boss.
Yeah, you need to do Overlock right as they transition the two tanks. Okay, ready?
Phase two. Make sure you hit Overlock.
Yeah.
What's your cooldown on Overlock?
It's still 5 minutes. Oh shoot. Okay, well, let's try it without it, I guess. Wipe it up. Anyway, Penelope Rose, the potbelly pig, is laid back with pink painted nails. Ruby Sue, the pit bull, is the big sister who just loves people. By the way, every pit bull I've ever met personally loves people. I've never met a mean pit bull ever.
No.
Not once. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why they're banned in Europe. I don't understand. Every pit bull I've ever known or seen or petted have been the happiest.
It's just been a product of the owners of ownership who mistreats them and treats them with the intent of making them fight. It's unfortunate.
Do you think like in the UK they ban them not because they're that way naturally, but because they have the potential for it, and that's enough for them to ban them? Because you can't have them over there. Remember, who was it? Patrick Stewart had to get
You can have them here for a while in Denver, actually.
Oh, really?
Might even be parts of Denver where you're still not allowed to have a pit bull.
I wonder if that's true here.
A Staffordshire Terrier is there.
I mean, would you? I mean, I'd get a pit bull if I was.
I would absolutely get a
Yeah.
pit bull. It's not that they have a propensity for that, for aggressive behavior. It's it's purely put on the owners who mistreat them to get them aggressive. And
Well, those owners are boners.
yeah,
They are. They're boners. All right. Penelope
Anyway,
Rose.
so these two get
sorry.
along.
Yeah, they eat together. They go outside and play and go to the bathroom together. That's how you know true love is there, when they're pooping together.
yes.
Sadly, their owner passed away recently, and they had to find a new home. The Overlock family couldn't keep up with the pair because they have their own pets, so they searched for days for a home willing to keep them. The one thing that I promised the little girl who lost her dad, that we were going to find a home for them forever, said Overlock. I'll get you, Spider-Man, said Overlock. I just can't take it seriously as a name. I'm sorry.
No, I know. It does feel like
It's just such a...
bitten by a radioactive master lock. Overlock got his powers and wreaked havoc across the city.
Bill Winterstream was just trying to open his long-term storage when he was bit
right.
by the lock.
Oh, Tina confirms. Yeah, pit bulls are banned in Denver County.
Oh, I didn't know that. But you're not.
Yeah.
Are you in Denver County?
No, we're in Jefferson County, so
All
we
right.
could have a pit bull, and I totally would have a pit bull. They're sweet,
Yeah.
and I would
too.
not name it Spuds McKenzie.
No. Wait, were those pit bulls?
Mhm.
No, those were something else. Those weren't pit bulls.
Spuds
Those-
McKenzie, I thought was a pit bull.
No, Spuds McKenzie. They're the ones with that weird big potato head. Is it a
Oh,
pit?
here, Dice Tomato says that wasn't a pit. I thought he was. He wasn't. I guess he wasn't.
Spuds was not a pit
A
bull.
bull. She was a bull terrier, but I guess not a pit bull terrier.
Yeah, those are different. Pit bulls are
Okay.
bull terriers are not tiny, but they're smaller, and they got that big misshapen head. And
English
then-
bull terrier. Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like French bulldogs versus like the big normal bulldogs.
Or like Labrador retrievers versus golden retrievers,
Oh,
part of
yeah,
the same family, but not the same. Okay, I always thought, for whatever reason, I always thought Spuds McKenzie was a pit bull.
Oh, and I know everyone's mad at me because I don't know why they're mad at me, but I got some emails. People are mad because my in-laws are breeding dogs, and they are oh shoot, what are they? Labradoodles. Anyway,
It's okay if you're breeding them for food, though, right?
yeah, if you're just eating them, it's fine.
There you go. Send your emails to me now.
We call that a redirection. Another thing I would do during the raid. But anyway, or misdirection, that's what I meant. But anyway, if so I understand that a lot of people don't like that. I'm not saying one way or the other whether I endorse it or not, but I can tell you this. They have one of the little puppies that they're keeping, and his name is, I forgot. Anyway, it's a little boy puppy, and he's only about this big right now, about the size of an extremely large potato. And what an adorable freaking dog. Oh my gosh, I understand. Like it or not, the world of breeding, this is the most adorable, snuggable, hold it all day, beautiful little puppy. Oh my gosh, I just want to just eat him. He's just so, he's so cute. I forgot his name though. Steve will remind me when he hears the show.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
curious. I want to see photos. I want to see the pictures that
Oh yeah, Tay did them.
that Taylor took.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. I'll find those.
And you people, by the way, who are you calling you people? People visiting my island, by the way, you guys are all awesome. I don't know if somebody brought me a bunch of stars that I forgot to pick up from the coastline, because I did go to an island where there were some shooting stars last night. So I think somebody basically brought me all the stars from the beach so that
From your beach?
people wouldn't take them from my own beach. But other people are dropping off bags of money. You guys are or bags of bells. Sorry, bags of bells.
Wow. What in exchange for what? What are you guys taking?
I don't know. It's because it's like, I hope you're not selling your turnips on my island, because you're absolutely taking a bath on those, since mine are like 73 right now.
Essential Tremor says the dog's name is Alejandro. Very well done.
Nicely done, Essential Trevor.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's time for, what are we even doing today? Oh yeah, we're going to have Bill here. Bill took part in a protest this weekend, and we're going to hear about it.
Oh, cool.
I'm excited to talk to him. And I haven't talked to Jury at all, so I have no idea what we're talking to him about, but probably something either sad or political. I don't know. One of those. Something like that.
You aren't mutually exclusive these days, Scott.
Nope. You're not wrong about that. All right. We're going to take a break, though, play a little song, and then we'll be back. What are we playing?
we are playing a cover in the middle of the show. Scott, a cover, but it's an indie in the middle cover, so it fits. It ticks.
Wait a minute. This vine shouldn't be sticking to my hand. It's not a vine.
Any attempt to tamper with the machine will destroy their minds!
The Morning Stream. Don't worry about him. Worry about me.
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
That was short and sweet. I like that a lot. That was good. Mm-hmm. Very, very good. Oh,
I'll make up for it with a longer song at the end. How's that?
Okay. That's cool. Tell them the name again so that we get the
Absolutely. Sometimes Always is the name of the song and the single. You can find both songs on that. And the artists are Hatchie and the Pains of Being Pure at Heart.
Nice.
Hatchie is spelled just like you would think it would be spelled. Hatchie.
Hatchie. I get it.
Hatchie.
Like trying to open the hatchie on Lost. I get it. Check this out.
Your bat
Desmond
cave's
smells
open
very
there,
hatchy.
Bill.
Yes, there's something very hatchy about the odor that's coming out of here. Hi, Bill. How are you, Bill?
Good morning. I am doing all right.
Hey, look, this is exciting because Bill usually comes on Tuesdays, and in in more normal times, we talk about all the cool stuff he's making with printers and laser cutters and his own hands and everything else. And he'd be probably talking about what he's going to do at Dragon Con this year. And, we'd be doing all those things. But instead, given the times we're in, I understand you attended a protest this weekend.
I did, yeah.
Tell me about this because Seattle has been smeared all over the news as being one of the hotter, rougher spots for clashes with police. However, where you went was a little different. So I'm super curious about all this.
It was much, much different. And I did make something out of foam last week. I made a Black Lives Matter sign out of a floor mat because of course that's how I'm going to make my sign. Of
course. Plus probably more durable. If it rained, it wouldn't ruin it or smear it or anything.
It floats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flotation device, so many uses.
Nice.
That's important.
Yeah, very cool.
So anyway, yeah. Like a lot of folks, we were inspired to go out and have our voices heard. But like you said, everything we've seen on TV and Twitter makes the idea of going to a protest, specifically the one in Seattle, sound very scary, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not afraid to admit how afraid I was about attempting something like that. But that doesn't mean you have to do that to make your voice heard. In fact, there's many, many other ways, including going out to a march in your community, which is what we did. Mm-hmm. So we went to a Black Lives Matter march on Friday. This was my very first protest.
Oh, first ever of all time, eh? Cool.
Yeah, I'm sure I've done something in the past similar, but this was like no, we're doing this. We are making a thing of this.
Yeah. Plus, that would have been like college, and it was all about getting free weed or something like that.
Probably,
but, yeah,
right?
That's why you don't remember it.
Yeah. So there's the protests where it's like a bunch of people in one area in the city who are making their voice heard, but there's also like rallies and marches, and this was really a march. We started in one place and we marched through a place and made our voices heard the whole way. And there are protests like that happening in smaller towns all around Seattle and other large cities. Ours was in Renton, Washington. It was about 20 minutes from our house. So we went and picked up our employee Paige, Brittany and I, and the three of us, the whole Punished Props team went down to, we went to the shop, made our signs, and we went to Renton and met up with everyone. And this is what it looked like. I want to share what the experience was for me because I want other folks to know that this is probably what it's going to be like if you go do this in your town. Mm-hmm. And also, I realize I live in Seattle, and your town might be very different than Seattle. So that's out there too. Our reception was wonderful. The actual march, we met at a shopping plaza. It was in the afternoon, around 1 p.m. There were probably a couple hundred people there. It was organized by other folks. Black Lives Matter organizers are putting these things on. We found it on Facebook. It was very well organized. Lots of really good information on the event. So everyone knew what to bring and how to stay safe. Mm-hmm. When we got there,
what did they tell you to bring? Curious, like what's on that list of things for protesters to bring?
I mean, there's tons and tons of stuff, and I don't have a list in front of me, but just in general, stuff to stay safe for the pandemic, stuff to stay hydrated, stuff to be able to communicate and eat, those sorts of things.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I figured. It was like bring bottle or bring water and make sure you got a mask.
Yeah. There's a different list if you're going to the one in Seattle. It's just a very different list.
No,
and
I'm not as much of an issue in Seattle.
No. But also the one specifically on Capitol Hill, you would want to bring a lot more personal protective equipment.
Yeah.
But I have friends who are and they're amazing heroes. So good on them for fighting the fight up there. But we did the fight in Renton. We met at a fitness place. There were lots of small groups, like families or small groups of friends, you could tell. And people were extremely aware of the pandemic. Almost everyone had a mask on. We wore our respirators, like from the shop. I even trimmed off my beard so it would work properly.
Yeah.
So I've looked like a baby boy now who's trying to grow an old man's beard.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I can't even imagine. Did you keep the mustache, though?
Just a little bit of the goatee.
Oh, okay.
That'll work inside of a respirator. But.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen so I've seen a lot of people with a lot of Seattle style beards, and I'm like, you guys need to trim those up just a little bit.
You got to trim the beards to make the respirator work. So anyway, everyone like pandemic. Obviously, it's a risk. You going outside, it's a risk. It felt a lot like if you've been in a Costco recently, it probably felt a lot like that, right? Mm-hmm. Where everyone's aware, you're in a space near one another, and everyone's aware, but everyone's giving each other plenty of space, and everyone was very kind to one another. It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
The whole, like I said, a couple hundred people. It was a procession. We just ended up marching through several neighborhoods. It was the kind of neighborhood that looked an awful lot like the neighborhood I live in and I grew up in. If you can imagine, it was pretty nice. In fact, we marched past April's old house.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I want folks who look like me to realize that's the neighborhood we were walking through. We weren't walking through. Marches are happening in all kinds of neighborhoods, but the one we went to was folks like me. And the reception was wonderful. The vibe was terrific. The organizers were leading chants, so we just followed along, held our signs, and tried to be as loud as possible.
Was there much of a police presence on your march at all?
Hardly at all.
Yeah.
Mostly just to direct traffic. Yeah,
that's good.
And no one was yelling at him. No one was throwing anything at him. Like I said, very different vibe here. Very different.
Sure. Yeah, it does. There are a lot of these little not sub protests, but ones that aren't in major metro areas that happen, and they don't get covered. Nobody's watching those.
And that's why I'm here sharing my story, because odds are if you're like me and you're going to go out to one of these things, you're going to probably have an experience like me. I can't promise no one's going to tear gas you. Can't promise that.
Yeah.
But I can say nobody tear gassed me.
Was that your wife laughing at you in the background just now? That was awesome.
Yeah.
That sound like Brett, yeah.
It does sound like Brett. You made her laugh. Well done.
Yeah. So, all right. So we finished up. The vibe was really terrific. Lots of anger. Sure, I was angry too, but mostly love and support. And here's the thing that really got me. We're walking through these houses, and this is someone's neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The people in those houses, I didn't count, but it seemed like most of them were really excited to see us. People honking, waving from the windows. People coming out into their front lawns with their own signs, cheering us on, bringing out food and water or leaving food and water on their front lawn. People joining, so many people just really running out of their houses and joining the march. It was beautiful. It was just a lot of people telling their neighbors how much they care about a marginalized group of folk that really need our help right now. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. We ended at a park. A few people got up and said some things, and then we knelt in silence for 8.5 minutes, which if you haven't done that, I recommend you do it, because it's a long ass time and it's a long time to think about a lot of things you should think about. Mm-hmm. So we did that, and then we walked back to our cars, and that was it. And we went home, and now we're making sure we don't go out and we're self-quarantining and gonna stay safe for a couple weeks and probably get a coronavirus test at some point. But other than that, we feel really fantastic about the entire experience.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Go and get just a a
Yeah,
disease safe
might
test.
as well.
Yeah.
A lot of cities are doing this thing where free corona tests for people who are protesting, like
Sure,
just basically, I don't know how long you need to wait though. I think the next day might be too soon, but you're saying like in a week or something. You're gonna,
Yeah. This was on Friday, so sometime this week I may scoot out and do that, and then next week I can tell you all about that. Although I bet Justin's already told you about his experience.
Well, not yet. He's after you,
Yeah.
so we're about to find out.
I believe he went and got tested.
Oh, he did?
A week or two ago. Yeah.
Oh,
he hasn't told us about it yet, so yeah, we'll have to hit him up.
Are
for
you
that.
telling me he was on here last week and he didn't tell us about that? Because I'm going to have words.
I think he went and got tested. I'm
Okay.
not sure, but you'd have to ask him.
All right. I'm going to completely hold you to that.
There are many things that jury needs to be tested for.
Just one. One of
That's
the
just
things.
one of many things.
Yeah. Keep going back. Well, that's really cool, dude. And also, if you do get the test, I hope it's 100% negative, and that you guys get a chance to maybe do that again. It seems like a cool thing, and you're in an
Sounds
area
like a very
where
positive experience. Yeah.
It's very cool.
Oh, we'll do it again for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you? I was gonna ask. Okay, this is just a Scott question. Okay,
go for it.
Not really. Doesn't pertain to the very important reason people are protesting. It doesn't pertain to the greater questions we are asking about our society right now. I just want to know: was there a lot of BO going on? Was everybody?
So Scott.
Yeah.
What did I have on my face the whole time? Just kidding.
You had a mask. You had a mask on.
I had a respirator on, Scott.
Oh, respirator, right. So you couldn't tell if everybody
Couldn't
was
tell.
Reesty. Okay. All right.
Yep.
That's fine. My whole thing with giant crowds is the first thing I think is, oh man, look at that show of solidarity. And then the second thing I think is, I'll bet that stinks. I'll bet everybody stinks. Just because
And that might become kind of a common thing for like when we go to cons and stuff. Once things start opening up and people are going to cons, we are going to be wanting to wear masks occasionally, especially if there are recent spikes of corona. So maybe that'll actually help with con funk.
Maybe. And you won't smell all the stinkers next to you. Absolutely. I love the word Reesty. I'm glad I got to use it today. I love that word. All right. Bill Duran, anything else going on this week that we should let people know about before we let you go?
Sure. Just my maker recommendation for if the Black Lives Matter cause is one you're as strongly behind as I am, then you're looking for a way to use your voice. There are a lot of ways to do it, including marching, but also, donating, sharing, emailing, or sending letters to elected officials, which I've been doing a lot this week. There are a lot of ways you can make your voice heard, and I implore folks to go out and find a way that works the best for them.
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot. It is often easy to think that writing your congressperson is a waste of time, like they're just not going to see it, or their staff just puts it in a hole and sends you a form letter reply. And maybe that's true, but if you do if enough people do that, they can't ignore the influx.
It creates
of contact.
pressure. It creates pressure, and even the people whose houses we marched past who did not poke their heads out and did not wave or bring us food, right? They saw us and they heard us, right?
Yeah.
And they may have emailed or called their representatives, and that's more pressure, and that's how this whole thing is supposed to work. And I think that's beautiful.
I do too. It's Bill Duran, punishprops.com, and right now I'd especially recommend following him on Twitter because you're going to see a lot of this stuff there. That's Chinbeard, Chinbeard, which is now a shorter, more respirator-friendly beard, but Chinbeard nonetheless. Bill Duran, have a fantastic week, and proud of you, dude. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
I say that like I'm his dad or something. I'm proud of you, son. You did good out there. Well done.
All right. Nice. Good job.
Good job. Your dad's proud of you. Now come watch the game with me. All right. Brian?
Yes, sir.
What now? Oh, jury. I'm a little thrown off from the day because we missed yesterday, and I keep thinking it's Monday, but
I know it does throw things off.
Kind of weirding me out, but we'll figure it out. Okay, we're gonna call Justin. We're gonna talk to him, and I'm gonna play his intro, and it goes like this.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
I'm terrible with most names, but not this name. The name is Justin Robert Young. He joins us now, and he only has to answer one question for us, Justin, and that is it true that you got coronavirus tested, COVID-19 tested, and how did it go?
I did.
Oh.
I did. I can't believe I didn't talk about it. I feel like I don't know. I talked about so much.
I think we had
stuff.
a lot to talk about last week.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. I mean, it wasn't even last week. It was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. All right.
Oakland out here did a. They started doing free testing, and so I had no reason to think that I did have the coronavirus, but I did want to. I just wanted to prove that I could do it and that it was easy, and so I did, and I social media'd about it, and I'm clean. Of course, that was 3 weeks ago, so you never know now.
Yeah, that's true.
Then I was clean.
So tell me about the actual. Everyone, whenever I see video of this, it seems like the most horrific thing jammed up your nose ever. Is it different now? Like, what did they do for your test?
There are different tests. That is the test. Yeah, that is the test that was the first one. There are different versions now. I was hoping it was that one because it would have made better social media content. Like I was there for like I've done human blockheads, so like I know what it's like to have a nail jammed up your nose. I was like kind of hoping that I could sell that and it would be funny to see a cotton swab jammed up my nose. But no, this was easy peasy. They just like front of the nostril.
That's
it. It was like you were trying to clean boogers out of your nose with an ear swab.
Yeah, right, just a little dust up before a speech.
Yeah.
Well, wait. So
and then they got my tongue, and I did choke like a dog.
Oh, gag on
not
that.
with the same swab that they just used on your nose, though, right?
No, they give you.
Yeah, they're like and that was just to show that they mean business, and nobody gets in their way. No.
All right, so that doesn't sound too unpleasant. I've been considering doing the same thing just for the heck of it. Utah's having a pretty massive spike at the moment, and it's being attributed to a lot of people. And I saw them on the road, so I knew this was happening. But a lot of people took Memorial Day as a sign of we're back to it, baby. And I saw people with their four-wheelers heading down the highway. I saw people with their boats all ramped up and ready to go. Like, we are a big weekend recreation state. We've got lakes in every direction that you could all drive to in no time flat, and rivers and campsites and all sorts of places. And now I think we're paying for it a little bit.
Well, let me just say this: there's been some frustrating stuff in terms of some of the reporting on this for me. Please don't look at raw cases. If you see, oh my God, our raw cases are way up, please pay attention to how much more everybody is testing. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's a gigantic spread right now. What you really want to look at is the percentage of positive tests.
Exactly. As tests are going up across the board everywhere, people are getting the availability is way higher than it was before. And so, yes.
Because now, what it should show you, what that number should show you is how much more there would have been if we would have had larger testing available sooner. We have it now. So it's like, it very much frustrates me when we don't pay attention to the percentage of positive tests and instead look at just raw cases. And then the headline is like, gigantic spike. And it's like, yes, we're testing more. And so we're finding more.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to actually, here's the problem. So what data should people be looking for? Because
percentage of positive tests. How many tests are being done, and then what is the percentage of the positivity? Nationwide, it's around 5. So if you're lower than 5, then you're lower than the national average. If you're higher than 5, then you're higher than the national
So not contagion rate. That's different, right? Yeah. So right now, Utah's got a contagion rate.
Well, contagion rate is how much on average somebody is spreading to somebody else. And even then that's dependent on the testing. So like, to me, the only thing that I really took seriously before was deaths, because, that's pretty indisputable. Even if you want to say that we're we're overzealous in terms of who we're classifying as a COVID
exactly
death.
Right. Yeah, whether it was caused by COVID or they just happened to have COVID when they died.
Yeah, and that's fine. Whatever. Yeah. You can have your disputes about that, but that is pretty concrete. Someone's dead, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that we have we're doing a ridiculous amount of testing, and a lot of it's free, and it's not just for people that are, now you can be like, I'm kind of worried and just get one, as opposed to before where it was like a doctor had to okay it. I think it's better to look at the percentage, but unfortunately now we've just we just can't have nice things.
No. We're all done with nice things. Yep.
Now it's like not only do we have the testing we wanted, right? But now we're at the phase where we're already pre-mad at each other on political lines based on who caused the second wave that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like now people are like, or even just what you said, where it's like, for all we know, like in Utah, I have no idea whether or not, that was caused by a bunch of people going out and boating. Theoretically,
the report that I saw this morning said that based on the date, they're saying it was stuff that happened around Mother's Day is what caused the current spikes in Arizona and Utah.
Yeah.
And that to me would be more like a bunch of people being with families and getting older people sick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And there was a lot of that.
And that's not a lot of like, oh, we went out on the boat.
No,
right?
you're totally right. It's hard to pinpoint just one thing. So here's a statement from Utah public health official. I can't find her name, but she's the one that's sort of been the spokesperson for this whole thing here locally. Gets up with the governor and stuff. She says Utah is seeing a statewide sharp spike in COVID-19 cases. The sharp spike is not explained easily by a single outbreak or increase in testing. This is a statewide trend. So they're still kind of in the we don't know why mode, but they don't think it's simply, hey, we're testing more, so therefore we have more cases. So who knows? I don't know.
I'm just saying keep an eye on it because I don't know. I'm not really well versed on the Utah thing. I do know that in general, it's like, we had a thing in Alameda County, which is where I live in Oakland. And it was like, Alameda County is like a big spike in cases. And it's like, yeah, because we were the first county to go to ubiquitous testing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it frustrates me when that is like not it's just the raw case number to me is just a borderlining on scaremongering.
I think it depends on the spike, right? The spike, if the spike is commensurate with the increase in testing, but then you go, it's easier to say, well, then, we've increased testing.
But that's why I'm saying percentage of positive.
Right.
Percentage positive. That should tell you that.
Yeah, I agree. So, and it's also easy to sit back and go, do you see these videos from Vegas this week? These people are just all over the place. No one's wearing masks. The casino's full. What are you doing? And then it's easy to go, okay, see you in 2 weeks, giant spike in Nevada. But I don't know. Do we know? We don't know. We don't know anything.
We don't know. And
then it's like
everywhere else because it's going to be other people coming to Vegas and taking the spike
taking
back
it home.
It was 2 weeks ago with the ding dongs in the pool. Remember the ding dongs in the pool?
In the Ozarks.
Yeah, the Ozarks.
Yeah, the Lake of the Ozarks or whatever. Like everybody was freaked out because a bunch of flipper doodles were in the pool together, and we were like, that's it. The plague is back, thanks to the Jersey Shore Midwest edition that needed a fist pump, and I don't know. Anything else was going to be gross. So
I get you.
I do like flipper doodles though.
Yeah, flipper doodles is good. It's a good term.
I just we're still in a pandemic. We're also in a period of great civil unrest. Yes, people are fucking very excited to get out of their houses. Boop. Yes, people are very excited to go out and protest. Can we at least just pay attention to what the numbers say before we just pre-blame based on our current political ideology?
I would love that, but I'm afraid that neither of us will get that wish. I feel like it's just.
Well, that's not going to stop me from loudly wishing it.
Yeah,
and shaming people that I know for not doing it.
Yeah, we should. I'm with you there.
All we did is say, listen to the science. Let's listen to the science. Let's listen to the science. Can we please listen to the science? Who's listening to the science? You're not listening to the science the way that the science dictates that scientifically we should be listening to the science. And now it's like, all right, let's keep that same energy. Like, you know, right now, the WHO, the World Health Organization, said yesterday that asymptomatic spread is something that is very, very rare.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, we don't know whether or not that's the case.
Right.
We know that the WHO said it. I've got my questions about the here that check swing. I've got my questions about the WHO throughout this entire situation, so I don't know exactly how much I trust them, but it is a vector to think about. It's a vector to understand.
Yeah.
And now I think we should be seeing something from the CDC saying whether or not asymptomatic spread is very rare, as the WHO said. If that's the case, then a lot of the issues that we have now could be solved by getting your temperature checked at the door.
You
know, like,
you might be right. I mean, you probably are right. Isn't that happening, by the way? So all the Vegas things I've seen are people running around inside a casino. But I think they're doing that. That's one of the things that's happening. Outside a casino, you don't get in without the scan. Like, it's one step. I know it's not the end-all step, obviously. But they're not, nobody's talking about that. That may be really effective. Certainly with people who are symptomatic.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Again, it's like, look, Vegas was always going to open because it's a gambling town, baby. And there's going to be some people who want to roll the dice.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there is a chance that this is less of the kind of issue that we initially thought that made it uniquely dangerous. The asymptomatic spread was what made COVID uniquely dangerous.
Yeah. That's what makes it. That's what they keep calling it. What do they call it? What do they call it? The virus is a virus, a blank virus, a
novel coronavirus?
The novel virus. That's the novel part, right? Because we don't. It's super.
I don't.
Isn't that it?
I don't know. I actually don't know what the particular virologist. Because here's the thing, Scott. A week ago, I actually transferred careers from professional virologist to professional protest analyst. So, like, that was in a former career 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I see. 2 weeks ago. Who knows what you'll be in 2 weeks? Jeez.
I might eventually go back to being a professional political analyst. Yeah. But right now, I'm a professional protest and riot
There's
analyst.
more demand for that right now. Yeah. Novel does mean new.
Oh, no, yeah. No, sorry. Wait, no, I'm a professional police reform analyst.
Oh, gosh, that was a quick jump. Yeah, all right, that's fine.
Confirmed by the chat room. Novel means new. So
new. Okay, so that kind of works. It's new.
Well, it means new. It doesn't mean necessarily like super dangerous.
Yeah. Like, no. Just new as in like like we're still learning stuff about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Nouveau
virus. Yeah.
Novel is when you underline it, and a short story is when you put quotes around it.
That sounds about right. Well, okay. Actually, I have a question about that. This kind of a hard. Are these hard turns for you? Like, just from an insider view of a guy who usually covers politics and does so because you enjoy the game of it and you like to call it from kind of a more center position and not really get all too involved in what side is saying what, more like what's the game look like, where are we headed, how's this going to turn out. You've had to make these hard turns. Is that, I mean, I have to imagine that's like jarring, right? Like, it's not easy. You can't be a thing you're like, oh, can't wait to have to switch the whole conversation around to this other thing now that I don't really have a lot of expertise in, or that I've got to get all super smart on or whatever, and invite a bunch of angry people because they'll perceive it as taking sides or whatever. Like, is that, I'll quit saying it for you, but what is all that like?
Terrifying. It sucks. It sucks. It's awful. It's the worst. Among the bad things that happen during a pandemic and global strife, it ranks fairly low on the complaints, right? But in general, it sucked being a virologist and then having to navigate the fact that we had a particularly chaotic political world, but it was all the stuff that I hate. It's all the like, what did Trump tweet today? Stupid stuff that I really don't like.
Yeah.
And then now, I did feel compelled. I felt compelled during the coronavirus to just do the hyperbole-free coronavirus update where I literally just said numbers. And really the thought that I had was to do, especially at the opening and closing of things, to do think of it like the snow report when it snowed for schools and stuff like that. And it was just like on the news, it was like, this school is closed and this school is closed and this school's doing reduced hours and the banks are closed. Like, that's what I wanted to do as the nation was closing down. And then as it was reopening, to just kind of give baseline facts as well as like just baseline numbers without getting into the minutia of how and why and stuff like that. Let's just let people know the facts, and then they can take those facts wherever they want. And then with the police stuff, I did an episode on police brutality, and I did research into what I thought were reforms that made sense to me. And the episode, by and large, I mean, it's probably been the most shared episode that I've done, at least anecdotally, that I've noticed in social media. It's also gotten me, the most angry. Well, I got one really angry email.
Maybe passioned response.
Yeah, one really angry email, and then another, and then I got a bunch of cops. A bunch of cops contacted me, including one that I went back and forth with. So, and then their point of view was on the next episode. But yeah, it's uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable for me because I'm not that guy. I'm flattered that people think I have a point of view that can talk about this in a way that is constructive, but there are elements of either through historical knowledge or I just feel like I have a better read on politics that I kind of feel comfortable just sort of letting things fly. And that was not the case with the coronavirus. That's not the case with police brutality. Mm-hmm. Like, that's something that I need to read, research, and write down before I say a single word.
Right. That sounds hard to me. It's been, we talked about last week, we talked about how comedy's harder during this. Like, a lot of things are harder. For Brian and I, it's been harder not to do the show, but just, this stuff's going to come up. Like, for now and for who knows how long, like, Bill's segment isn't about him making stuff. It's about Bill's passion for the Black Lives Matters movement. And that's okay. Like, we've had to just kind of shift gears a little bit in a lot of ways, a lot of different ways. And in some ways it's been nice because we haven't had to. We can still find the funny. We're still finding, the ridiculous and talking about it and whatever. But, woe is us content creators who are independent and can do what they, do this thing right now during all of this. I'm not trying to say anyone should feel bad for any of us. I'm just saying these are interesting challenges that I don't think any of us thought we had to deal with like a year ago.
No, I mean, the world's in pain.
Yeah.
The world was in pain with the virus, and the world was in pain with, our understanding of what's happening in the Black community, now inflamed beyond its regular state. And that's, comedy is not just about the comedian. Comedy is about the audience. Mm-hmm. And the funniest comic on the planet will tell you that sometimes you walk into an audience and you just know they suck, and it could be for a billion different reasons, but it's harder to win them back.
Right.
Conversely, sometimes the audience is delighted, right? I remember I was listening to a Patton Oswalt bit where he was talking about going to a casino where the audience was just out of their mind drunk. And he got up on stage and literally the audience was just yelling things that he's been in. And he just talked about the thing like King of Queens. And he was just like, yeah, it was great. Kevin James is nice. Ratatouille. And he just did that. And he did that for a half hour and left. And they gave him a standing ovation. Oh, wow. Like that was an audience that just was very excited to see him. Yeah. And then he walked off and he got paid an ungodly amount of money because it was at a casino.
Wow.
But my point is that the magic of any kind of communication or art is the connection between the artist and the audience. And like right now, it's hard because we know that the audience is in a crazy place. Yeah. We all are. We are the audience for so many other things. And at the same time, it creates these jagged edges where, like, I was listening to a podcast that I very much enjoy. It's a couple wrestlers. They do a show called Talk and Shop. And it didn't mention this at all. And it was the first podcast that I think I've listened to that didn't really. And I laughed so hard because I forgot what it was like to not have this be at the forefront, because so many of the shows that I listen to have, and rightly so, including the ones that I've done, right? Politics had it up front. Night Attack had it up front. But you know, this is the way the world goes. It kind of like ebbs and flows, and it's the job of the artist to kind of guess where the audience is and give them what they want.
Yeah. Tricky times, but we're here for you, man. We're here for each other. We're here for the audience. We're here to do our thing, and we're going to keep freaking doing it the best we can. I was wondering if your testing was to say, hey, I want to see how I am before maybe we saw maybe a masked Justin Robert Young on the street in Oakland. Is that in your future there? Are you thinking about, going out there and marching with the people, getting the word on the street, maybe a little interview here and there? I was just,
I've been out there. I've been at protests. I mean, there's so many in Oakland. It's kind of hard to even not be part of one.
Yeah, the geography of certain cities is almost like if you live there, you're in it, right?
Well, yeah.
Depending on where you're at, I guess. You're, like here, for the protests that are happening in Salt Lake, and they're all being peaceful, and I guess last nights or Sunday nights, whatever day it is, today's Tuesday, they had a huge crowd and virtually no police. I mean, I'm sure there were some there with some traffic stuff, but they had no cops anywhere, but as big a group as they had the week previous. So I think that's progress. I don't know what that is. I don't know what to call that. But I didn't go down there because I'm chicken shit. and I was kind of nervous to do it. And also it seems like they kind of got it under control, and I'm kind of supporting them with my platform best I can here. And I think that's okay. But I don't know. There's days where I wonder if I ought to, get down there and go with my daughter.
I know for me, because I talk about politics, I want to be, there's what I want to do personally, and then there's what I want to share on social media.
Yeah.
Because I have a platform. I have a platform where if anybody really cares about my thoughts and opinions and what I have to say, then I control it. I control what I say. I control how long I go. I control the edit. And I might still misspeak. I might still, ruin everything. But I at least have control in a way that I don't feel like I have control on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And like considering where we are in an election year, even if I'm at a protest and I'm getting tear gassed, I don't know if I would post about it, because that's an experience that I want to be there for my community, but it's not something that I want to hand as a political football for people to toss around on social media.
Right.
Like, if I want to talk about it, if I want to share that, I've got a whole place. If people really care about it, if they really care about my contribution to everything, then PX3 is or Night Attack or Happy Hour or my segment on TMS. I am spoiled for choice of places to share it. Mm-hmm. So, last Friday I was at a thing in Oakland, and it was really nice. It was really peaceful. I wasn't at the early ones, largely because we are still being kind of careful because Ashley's got asthma and we want to be careful about the COVID stuff. But but I was walking back from a little walk I was taking, and I saw a big crowd. I think it was an LGBT BLM thing, and I sat there and listened to a few speakers, and that was that. And I'll probably go do other stuff just because there's so many of them. But in general, like it's I don't know. I kind of feel like in the position that I'm in, I don't feel pressured to like share about it or talk about it, because I have many places where I can talk about it in my own words that aren't in the battlefield that is social media.
Yeah. And for the record, there's some confusion in the chat. I'm not afraid of a protest. I am afraid of COVID-19. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm referring to when I say that.
Yes.
I mean, I have a daughter who would probably very glad she's in the chat right now. She'd probably like, Dad, we should go. Let's do this. Under COVID-19 stuff and my potential immune compromise situation with the early diabetes diagnosis, it just makes me super nervous.
Yeah, no, I get the same. I feel the same way, as Ashley's asthma, as you. Tina's immune system is compromised too. So I've got to be careful, not for me, but for her.
Yeah, exactly. So if Brian was on his own, he'd be down there on his bike with multiple signs and just letting it all hang out is what you'd be doing.
I'd be protesting from one casino to the next in Vegas. I'd just be like,
Man, I'll tell you what, I got an email today from a certain airline that has partnered with the Wynn to do like free upgrades to their suites.
Oh, wow. Really? Yeah. They got to do what they got to do.
Man, the Vegas deals are to be had if you are willing to roll the dice on the VIN.
I could get out there for right now, $19 round trip. I was looking at this. I've got free offers from MGM, so I could stay for free, even no resort fees. Basically, just like, come here, Brian, please.
So for $20, you're in Vegas.
$20 round trip, not counting food or anything like that. But seeing that crowd just freaked me out.
I know,
obviously,
I don't like
freaked me out.
I don't like it. There's too many of them.
But here's the thing about that, by the way. I was doing some more research on that. That was one of the first days when only the Cosmopolitan was open. MGM hadn't opened yet, and a lot of the Caesars properties hadn't opened yet. So if people were going to go there was basically one casino they could go to.
Oh, that's interesting.
If you take that group and spread them out over several casinos, it's a little better.
Well, plus
the only masks I saw in that video were on the dealers, and that scares me.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. And by the way, I realize that I don't know. I'm having my own little constitutional crisis with myself here, but I'm going, I don't know, I got this diagnosis. It may mean I'm a little more, it could be bad if I got the COVID. And then I see a picture of John Lewis, civil rights icon, U.S. congressman, and he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he's standing out in the middle of the road like stoically and awesome. And I think, oh, okay, well, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, I'll admit it. There's a lot of emotions with all this stuff. A lot of back and forth in my own head about what I want to do, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, and it's hard.
For sure,
it's hard.
I mean, it's a complicated time. Like, and to me, the biggest thing with what's happening now with the protest is that, like, I'm fully supportive. I am a man who very much wants to focus on, like, all right, where is the action? Like, what is going to happen from this? And that's what I wanted to focus on in the PX3 episode, where I talked about qualified immunity and the barriers that we have now on reporting. That many states don't allow a citizen to search reports. Another layer has severe restrictions on it, and the ones that do have access to records, police unions negotiate purging of those records every 2 years. And like, I think that none of those things really help create a connection between police force and citizenry. I think that that's what is needed here, because what we are seeing is a massive lack of trust. And then there's qualified immunity, which shields police officers from being liable for even things that are constitutionally violating. And I've gotten some great feedback on that. I had a couple cops contact me.
Oh, that's cool.
And they had their own perspectives about it.
Yeah.
But it's something where I do believe that we can have a situation. This might be Pollyanna, but I do believe that we can have a situation where our protectors, our guardians, have a better relationship with those that they are protecting and guarding.
Yeah. And how?
I think it is in everybody's best interest that we have more transparency into these systems, so we don't, because like what I see now, where I don't necessarily blame people who are like, oh, like what good apples versus bad apples, everything's rotten, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I can blame somebody if we can't see into that system.
Yeah.
If we don't have transparency there, then like I can understand where that is where people come to the realization.
Yeah, it feels like that has to be a baseline thing for any progress. If you're not going to have baseline transparency across the board in every city with police department and those they serve, then what are you doing from there? Like that stuff has to be looked at, whether or not it uncovers a bunch of controversy from previous years or stuff we never heard about or knew about. I don't know. That's all scary and everything, but you need to see it.
It just needs to be the public, because police have a very hard time policing each other because they don't know who the next person that's going to back them up that they're going to trust their life with is.
Right.
Like, they don't control that. They can't say, hey, this guy sucks and he's awful and he's a racist. Never have him be near me again. There's just not that possibility. They can report him, and then maybe that guy doesn't show up when the other guy needs backup. Right.
Right.
So it can't be up to the police. It can't be up to the police to police the police. We have to. The public has to. And that's why this information has to be made public, in my opinion.
Who watches The Watchmen is what you're saying. Right?
I mean,
yeah, there's some parallels there. All right. Justin, Robert Young is always a pleasure having you here on Tuesdays. Anything in particular this week that people should be listening to, checking out, watching from you?
Yeah, to get back to the politics of it all, we've been doing a segment on the show, including last Wednesday. For last Wednesday and the Wednesday before, we've been vetting Joe Biden's potential vice presidential picks. We did Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan 2 weeks ago. We did Val Demings, which fit into our police episode because she's a former Orlando police chief. And this week we're going to be doing Keisha Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, who has had a bit of the spotlight on her, not only through the COVID situation where she was a spokeswoman for how much it's disproportionately affecting the Black community, but also that she, along with Killer Mike, had that moment where they were talking to the city of Atlanta during the first night of riots and looting. And so she is now in the Veep stakes. So we're going to be vetting her.
Veep stakes.
Yeah. And then we actually have an interview about the Veep stakes coming out on Friday.
Nice. That made me hungry for a steak. Well done. All right. Justin Robert Young.
Then you want to go watch Veep.
Yeah, exactly. Justin R. Young on Twitter. Check him out there.
See you, boys.
All this stuff. We'll see you later, man.
Hey, Gerbs.
Be good. All right. Oh, whoops. He left before I could kick him. All right.
Jerk.
Brian, we missed the Monday mashup yesterday, but fear not. Fear not. I have it right
We
now.
don't have to wait another week to get one, Scott?
Nope.
Is that what you're saying?
Nope. You get it right now. In fact, there's precisely jack poop you can do about it even. I'm going to play it. This is called half a Subway marked Fred. I don't remember this. But
Should be half a Subway sandwich marked Fred for the reference, but I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. This is the Monday mashup from TMS Mashups. Jamie, thank you for this. Here it is.
Yeah.
Brian was right to stick it in. We're sticking it in. We're putting it in.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
put it in.
I'm gonna heal your bum, or whatever they're gonna, whatever it is they do.
Like a rhinestone jockstrap.
Here. When the Romanian dictator Nicolae, some name, made a visit.
Ceausescu.
Is that how you say it? Ceausescu.
Yeah.
Oh, I've even heard the name. I didn't know that's how it's spelled. Of course, it's weird and hard to say. And Zimbabwe dictator Robert Mugabe.
Yeah.
Mugabe.
Oh, this mullet. Should I keep it or should I rid myself of it? Like the scourge that it is.
Yeah, why is that one pointed at your crotch?
Looking right
What
at
have you been doing on Reddit, Scott?
my open naked
What have you been doing on 4chan? God.
4chan.
I want to know if I get my Macs for free.
Hey!
That's right. It's like Caesar's left boob at Caesar's palace.
Yeah, basically.
People, I want some luck.
I'd give her hot tub flapjack boobs. It's time to get my stones to move. Doesn't sound right.
It's time to get my stones to move. These stones need moving. Need to pee. They're pretty much staying in place. They hurt coming out.
It's, it's e-paper. You ever seen e-paper? Look at it.
You ever e-paper?
Basically like shotgun shot. Or what's that
shotgun,
called?
Shells.
What's the stuff inside called? It's
right, the
shotgun shot?
Buckshot.
Buckshot. Oh, that was my porn name in high school. I should have known that. All right.
Because that's even better. Like rummaging through the fridge. Here's Karen's leftover Mushu. Here's half of a Subway sandwich marked Fred. Ah, look at that Hot Pocket.
Half a Subway sandwich marked Fred. If that's not a title submission, the chat room's doing it wrong. You're right. It needed the whole phrase to work properly.
Right.
It did there.
Sandwich.
Well done, everyone. Thanks, Jamie. That was great. As always. If you want to follow Jamie on Twitter, he's at TMS Mashups. He's a nice guy. We like him.
That's all right.
Patreon.com/TMS is how you support our show. Big thanks to everybody who does. It's early in the month, so time to hop on and be a part of it. So get on in here and get some cool stuff. Patreon.com/TMS. This week we'll have a bonus show called TMS PM on Friday that you can only get both live and in archive form if you're a patron. Even at the lowest level, you get that. So Patreon.com/TMS for all you wondering how to get that. That's going to do it for us. I think we need to get out of here with a song, though, and Brian has one in the chute.
A song, you say? Yes, absolutely. And had a lot of requests set up for yesterday, so those I'll be spreading. There was none for today, so I'm moving one of them to today, and I'll move a couple to tomorrow and Thursday. But good morning, Brian and Scott. It's that time of year again. Time to celebrate my dear friend's birthday. I'll keep this request short and sweet. I wish I could be there to brighten his day. This will be the first year that we won't be spending it together, but a birthday wish from you two and some great music will have to suffice.